Come on. Hey, Bernie, what's going on out there?
Hey, Lucretia, how you doing?
You ain't Candace. What the heck going on with her?
To tell you the truth, I see her name pop up. I really haven't been paying that much attention to her, to tell you the truth. I know I should do better, but there's other things to worry about. I mean, we got bombs going off in the Middle East. I kind of been a little occupied with that. Matter of fact, I was at John Myrick's fundraiser on Saturday, and me and Marco, we pal around, my John and Nancy, and they said to tell you hi.
Hey,
And we were just talking about you. If your ears were burning, it was us.
it was a
It was all
relaxing
good.
weekend. Well, this is pretty much what she's saying. Trump is bad. Trump is wrong. Israel is bad. Israel is wrong, and military need to pull out and don't help Israel, which can never happen because that's our biggest and strongest ally. And that the American soldiers and military don't need to die for Bibi Netanyahu. And after that, I stopped listening, and I don't want to hear anything else she got to say. I don't know what happened with Charlie Kirk, and I have no idea why they locked horns and then why she hate Jews. I don't know any of
I'm
that, but
very
this is what she's saying.
surprised. I have not been monitoring her at all. If it was coming from anybody else other than you, I wouldn't believe them. But, I guess it's the truth. I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, she's made her livelihood and living among conservatives, and sometimes conservatives don't get along, but we family. Family sometimes get into scraps sometimes, but it's us versus them, and she's part of the family, and I don't know what's going on, so I'll have to check into that.
I don't know what happened. Me personally, I saw the change 3 years ago, but then when she really got married, that's when I was like, "Woo!" Her ideology just flipped the script a lot. So
But
me
her
personally,
husband is part of the royal family.
what royal family?
She married a cousin of one of the British royalty, and he may be influencing her
Wow.
somewhat. I mean, I'm just throwing that out there. All I know is
Yeah,
we are at war, and this is
yeah.
not the time to be breaking ranks.
Well, you know what? There's a lot of people that is don't want Trump to protect us, and they don't want Trump to get involved. But I'm like this: how long was must we hear "death to America" and "death to Americans" before we take these people seriously? Knowing who Iran truly is, and it's over 50 years of them hating us. On what did we do to them?
Well, I'm going to say we're not without blame here because this goes back to like 1947. There was a time when, they had, before the Shah of Iran, our government, along with the British, installed the Shah of Iran. It was all about oil. Okay, got it. But, we could have worked that out a long time ago. And, don't blame us for all the British daring do and them, taking British petroleum and all that sort of stuff. But the issue of the day is that that's a long time to hold a grudge. A lot of people have died. Um, and we may not have, a perfect relationship with Israel, but Israel's our brother. And if they go into war, we are obligated to protect them.
Absolutely.
And that's the way it goes. Let's sort out the mess later. But right now, we got our brother to protect. If your brother's in a fight, you're going to scrap, right?
Well, the is it Ayatollah? I guess you call that their religious pope over there. He
Hmm.
came out 2.5 weeks ago, and pretty much ringing that alarm, telling all Muslims inside of America to start taking out Trump and his administration.
Well, that
Well,
kind of bothers me a little bit.
he did it
Now
two and a
you,
half weeks ago. So since you called that out and you called that major threat out there, then I guess Trump answered that call.
well, here's the thing. We can't sit back with all the vulnerabilities that we have and just let these people dictate to us what they're going to do and when they're going to do it. We've got 20 million illegal aliens in this country, and a lot of them are not just economic job seekers coming
Nope.
from South America. There were every ethnicity under the rainbow to include Iranians. I'm not saying there's sleeper cells or anything like that around here. I'm saying that whatever it is, you need to be prepared for whatever threat that may come your way. And these people are not stupid,
Nope.
and they have been afraid. Nobody's trying to break into Iran, put it that way. But over here, we've got people in every area of the country, and we've got a lot of vulnerabilities. So the bottom line is harden this place as hard as you can. And I know that the people in the administration are thinking about that. I mean, there's a lot of things that I don't want to scare people with, but like I said, I did this foolishness for 34 years. I am, what's the word? Not a conspiracy theorist. I believe in conspiracy fact. I
Right.
believe in not leaving yourself vulnerable. And yeah, I was listening to you a little bit ago talking about buying flamethrowers and stuff like that. Look, leave the flamethrowers alone. Most people will blow themselves up, burn up the wrong dang on people. So, but ain't nothing wrong with having a weapon
Right.
and knowing how to use it.
I mean, because if, like you said, with the 20 to 21 million illegal, which are soldier age men, they're already dispersed. And then
Well,
somebody had to remind me that in the Barack Obama administration, he had Iranians actually working with him and alongside him. And one of them is Valerie. I just forgot
well,
about Valerie Jarrett and her Iranian ties and the Muslim Brotherhood.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Obama didn't do us any favors, and we should have seen through him. People can vote for whoever they want to, but his ties look a little shady to me, and I'm just gonna go. I mean, that's all past history and all that. We got to let that go. But the issue of the day is that we have a lot of vulnerabilities. We are the most technologically advanced country in this world. So let me give you this scenario.
Go ahead.
So imagine grocery store. You got a 3-day supply of food in that grocery store based on just-in-time logistics. So what happens when there's no more food?
You got to blame China, and then you have to blame Congress.
Okay, but I'm talking about tactically at my house, at your house, at your
I,
cousin's house.
I
What
hope
are they
you're
going to do
armed
for food?
up. I hope they. I hope by this time, if you don't have a week to a month worth of supply of food of some kind of way, and 3 to 6 months of medication after what we dealt with the scamdemic of it all, what the hell? If you ain't got at least 5 bags of rice backed up by now in your house somewhere, how you not? And you could call us conspiracies.
Everybody who's put up a sign that says,
Everybody with an American flag is gonna be strapped and ready for you to think you're gonna run up in their house.
everybody who
Well,
doesn't.
that may be true. And hey, Dave, I hear you in the background.
He's trying to say everybody that doesn't is gonna be coming out here into suburbia trying to rob us blind.
No.
Yeah, it is, because the people in the city ain't gonna be able to survive.
Get robbed blind.
Let me tell you something. The way this thing works, and I hate to stare you the way soldiers think, but the strong shall survive. And if it gets bad enough, those who have weapons, those who know how to use them, those who are strong will take from the weak. And you like to think that people are egalitarian and they'll help each other. That is the best of thoughts. But in a lot of cases, when stuff gets real bad, I hate to think. So, as I said before, we got a lot of vulnerabilities out
And what
there.
about a
What
bug out
happens?
location? Because right now we have a 77 acres of just woods, wrecked cars, a junkyard, a couple of buildings, a lot of batteries, a lot of seeds, an actual lake that backs up on the property where majority of the families that live off this one road have been there for generations after generations after generations, and it's all in a little small country town that is less than 45 minutes from here. If we get there, we can survive for a very long time.
Oh, you're going to be fine. I know you can shoot. Yeah, I ain't worried about you. I'm worried about these people in the cities that don't know where their food comes from.
Ooh.
I'm worried about these people in the cities that don't have the understanding of if you don't have electricity, you might want to put a candle in you, keep candles around. How about here it is, we're in a heat wave right now. What happens when the electricity goes off, the AC goes off, and you're in a 6-story apartment building and it's 120 degrees up at the top?
I have no idea, but all of a sudden I just pictured my grandma sitting on the front steps with all the windows open, fanning herself with her a skirt hitched up so she can breathe.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
I
You're a
just,
mess. You
I
know that?
literally just saw my whole grandmother lifestyle pass before my eyes. That means
Same with
if you got
my
to get
grandma.
an outhouse or a bucket to piss in, you know the basic ABCs, one, two, threes of being broke,
Woo.
poor, and poverty stricken. And that was my life growing up with my grandma picking beans on the front porch. If I had that type of family though, that
Don't think you by yourself. We didn't have city water until I was probably about 8 years old. We had well water, and I'm familiar with that outhouse too. Ooh.
there's a lot
So,
of people that are that's my age, that's your age, and
mhm.
younger don't have a clue at
No.
all. And if the internet goes down, I'll freak out. I'm being honest. I will freak out. I will give it 24 hours. But we know for a fact if you ain't in a location that you plan on being in the first 48 to 72 hours hunkered down, you're going to have a hard time getting across any interstate, any scenic highway, or any state location before the sheriffs, the military, and the National Guard come in and shut it all down.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, and I don't want to scare anybody, but like I said, I spent a long time thinking about this stuff. There's a term called asymmetric warfare. Okay?
Okay, explain that.
You you can make war upon people without bombs and bullets. Okay, you can attack the infrastructure, you shut down the power, you poison the water, and you don't even know how to do it. Back in World War II, you had people in Belgium and they're fighting against the Nazis. They would string up, wire across roads that they knew the Nazis were going to come across in motorcycles on their patrol and chop heads off. I mean, I don't want to give anybody any ideas. I'm just telling you that make yourself a hard target. If anybody's out there, with any misunderstanding, you don't want to be a target. You want to have enough food. You want to have enough water to not only for yourself, but yourself, your children, everybody in your household. You do not want to be a burden if anything goes south, because here it is. As I said before, if it was, I think like the Iranians in the military, they call that red teaming. So the question of the day is, what are our vulnerabilities?
Our
What
power structure, infrastructure, our nuclear infrastructure, our core of engineering is our food supply chain, our farms, and our water.
and who's protecting us?
Us.
Who's protecting those things?
It's supposed to be
Now,
the state.
like I said, I don't want anybody to be sitting around here worried about all this sort of stuff, because there are people in the United States government and the United States military that are paid full time to worry about those sorts of things. So don't think that, nobody's thinking about this. I used to be one of those people, but I am telling you that we are vulnerable, and we're probably a little bit more vulnerable than a lot of people in a lot of third world countries, because if you don't have electricity, and if you don't have if you don't have, sewer service and those sorts of things, that doesn't mean anything. But I live not very far from Fort Detrick, so I think about this kind of stuff all the time. You know what they do at Fort Detrick?
What?
Well,
Bio- uh,
they biological things about.
Woo! So if
Oh,
they
I
blow
should.
you up and they blow that base up, all the biological weapons is going to get out into the open.
I shouldn't eat. Why do you always have me talking about stuff I shouldn't be
No,
talking about?
we just talking about the stand. The stand happened the same dang on way, but that was a biological weapon that got released from the CDC and from the mad scientists that are actually poisoning us to begin with. And then you got to think about the farmland. Who owns the biggest farmlands right now? That
Bill
is
Gates.
Bill Gates and China.
Mm. Now, why is it China? And I'm being theoretical here. Why are they allowed to own land in our country?
Because somebody got sucky for a long time.
Bill Clinton and
What? We can look at Ash Kissinger. I was in love. Then we just found out that Tim Walz of all people, was dating before he got married to his wife. He was in love with a CCP spy. So
He is a crook.
there you
He is
go.
a criminal. Didn't I read somewhere in the newspaper where he hired somebody to take out Amy Klobuchar?
Yes, and then the guy that actually killed the state rep up there in Michigan last weekend,
Minnesota.
he blamed him too. He in his
Yes.
manifesto, he blamed Tim Walz.
Tim Walz is a hot mess, and we are very, very fortunate that we dodged that Tim Walz Kamala Harris bullet. But let me tell you, I'm gonna tell you right now, if she had been elected, both me and you
Would have been in
and
jail.
Dave and most of our friends would all be in jail by now.
We'd have been in re-education, retraining camp. We'd have been in the goulashes.
We sure would. But thank God that things are the way they are. And, yeah, Trump's not perfect, but he is the best we got. So we need to get behind him. And, I sit around here and I don't know exactly what Candace Owens said. I'm very disappointed that she's breaking ranks right now. I don't know what in the world. I'm gonna have to check it out when we get off of here. But to tell you the truth, that I have been just inundated. My mind has been with this war and what's going on over there because a lot of those places over there I've been. I was all over the Middle East for quite some
And
time,
if
back and
President
forth.
Trump wanted to cause or create war, wouldn't he do a mass casualty of the citizens and not the weaponry and the military sites in themselves?
You are correct, madam. The issue of the day is that we could destroy their civilization with ease. I'm talking about bomb them to the Stone Age, but he made surgical strikes. He wanted to destroy their nuclear facilities, and he did so. It could have been a whole lot worse. And don't think that the Iranian mullahs, or what do they call themselves, are not aware of this. They know what's up. So yeah, they shot back and at Qatar and all
Qatar.
that, but we
Yeah,
got.
how in the world are you finna bring the Saudis involved? Now you opening up a bigger can of whoop ass, and they your next door neighbors.
And let me tell you something. There's various kinds. You're basically Sunnis and the Shiites. We all know about that. There's other kinds of Muslims, but the issue of the day is those two hate each other. They hate each other more than they hate us. And the Saudis would love to just put the Iranians out of their misery. So this is a tense time, and cooler heads need to prevail. Trump was trying to keep us out of war, and I'm thankful that he did that. But he also understood that they can't be allowed to have a nuclear weapon because it's not about them launching. They don't have the launch facilities to do that. But what they could do is manage to take that physically to another country and cause all kinds of damage. The next thing you know, we
You know
got
what?
World War III, and we do not need that.
You know Barack Obama's pissed right now. All that money he sent over there went to waste.
Billions, billions. So yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know what we're going to do with him and Clinton and all that, these warmongers or whatever, but I'm just glad that Mr. Trump's in place because, as I said before, you saw all those troop movements and all those airplanes and such and such. You've got battleships and aircraft carriers and all kinds of things that we don't talk about. We could have easily ended their civilization, and the opportunity to do that is not over. We
If
could
they
kill
shoot
every
back.
man, woman, and child in Iran, and it wouldn't even be worth, it could be done by lunch.
Well, I do know there was. It's on my page. I put a video up, but it's an Iranian official, and it doesn't look like the Ayatollah that side. But he basically saying the Iranian people appreciate what President Trump did. They appreciate going after that mountain.
Well, here's the thing. They're hostages in their own country. Those people have no rights. They are under a military slash religious dictatorship, and the Ayatollah controls everything. So imagine if you lived over there. You wouldn't be able to drive. You wouldn't be able to dress that little Trump t-shirt you got on. You wouldn't be able to wear that. You'd have your whole face covered up. Everything. So they
Uh,
don't play. They throw homosexuals off buildings. Not that I'm rooting for homosexuals, but in Muslim countries like that, especially strict Muslim countries, they don't play. And what I mean by that, they have a low crime rate because they kill the people who nobody commits any crimes over there.
so what
You
are the
know,
lefties over here chanting about then? Because especially the queers for they queers for Iran now. They got queers for Iran. Please make that make sense.
that's like chickens rooting for Colonel Sanders.
They don't have a clue. They don't have a
I don't
clue.
understand these people. They're crazy as all get out. But the truth is, I root everything back to Marxism. And first of all, Karl Marx was the biggest racist you ever wanted to see. And for whatever reason, these people think that Marxism and communism is the solution. It never worked. Show me somewhere where Marxism and communism worked. And it always fails. And capitalism is not the perfect solution, but it's the best solution that's ever been invented. And until a better solution comes along, that's the way we need to go. But back to these rich Marxist, Harvard, Ivy League types, bedroom for Marxism. And they get over there and they think that these people don't understand that the folks that they're rooting for, Hamas and the PLO and all these people in Gaza, they will cut your throat faster than your head will spin and roll your head. Oof. I'll just get so mad thinking about it. But these people have been fooled. And we can't, the American people, they elected Trump for a reason. They understood that we're going in the wrong direction and we need to turn this thing around. And he is put there for times such as these. So I don't want to get all religious on this because I'll scare you to death.
Why? But God tell us it's gonna be signs and wonders. There's gonna be wars and rumors of wars. There's gonna be dreams and visions, and He's gonna pour out His Spirit on everyone to see. So if He gave you that vision, He gave you that spirit of discernment. Tell everybody. Don't keep it to yourself. And if people don't choose to believe where you stand or how you stand, and they don't believe in the Bible or prophecy or any of this, you're not supposed to be talking to them anyway. It's a waste of your time. Save the savable. Teach the savable. That is what we're supposed to be doing. But all this far left, now you got Mexico flag out there, Iranian flag out there, Palestine flag, Ukrainian flag. You got every flag but ours.
Yeah, I got real problems with that, and that would not be allowed. Imagine you go down to Mexico and you're just going to start waving the American flag, and oh, by the way, I'm going to apply for disability from the Mexican government, and I'm going to ask them to give me a job eventually in an apartment. Imagine how that's going to go. You tell me.
Oh, they already out there. Because the Supreme Court or a federal court just ruled that President Trump can start back deportation to third party countries.
I
So
saw that.
they're going to be pissed. Right
Oh, they
now,
already pitched.
you got
They,
Mexicans in Mexico actually protesting against the protesters.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was reading something from the Mexican president, and basically they shut down the southern border of Mexico because they don't want these caravans coming through anymore. They don't want people coming from Venezuela using their country as a way station to get to the United States. So, no, they understand. They smelling the Kool-Aid. They smelling the soup. The issue today is all this has got to stop. And as I said before, if I went my happy butt down to Mexico right now and asked them for some free benefits, they would laugh me out of that. And then they put me in jail for 2 or 3 months and then deport me back to the United States. So we can't allow ourselves to be infiltrated. We got something good here, and if this fails, the rest of the world, the Western world fails. So the issue of the day is that these people got to go, and we got, as I said before, 20 million non-citizens wandering around here that we're not sure their loyalty. So if you want to be an American, then apply for American
Right.
citizenship and wave the American flag. But, a lot of the stuff that we're seeing on television, it's a funny story. My sister was just in Los Angeles. She came back last night. My niece lives out there. She's pregnant, her and her husband, yada, yada. It's all good. But we're sitting here watching television, and you would think the entire state of California is burning because of all this.
Yes.
She said that she saw nothing. Now imagine she didn't go downtown. All this stuff is happening downtown, but she was in Los Angeles for the past 2 weeks and she saw no protest at all. Now maybe they just live in a nice area or whatever, but my sister is very observant. And I talked to other people. I was in Philadelphia, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I might have told you, and it was during that No Kings protest.
Yes.
And so I'm in, what do they call it? Plymouth Meeting, which is about 15, 20 minutes south of Philly. And I didn't see anything. And more importantly, I was there because my wife was well, my wife and I were going to this party, a fraternity sorority thing. There was 500 people there. The word didn't come up about this No Kings protest. Everybody was partying and having a good time. And I asked a couple of people that I knew, hey, what's the deal? They,
They didn't know nothing about it.
they didn't know nothing about it.
Well, they was pulling a lot of people out of senior citizen homes, so that's what I saw. And then,
They
of
were paying a
course,
lot of people too. They spent $2.1 billion on this.
what was
And
it? The lady from the daughter of the late Sam Walton George Soros, a lot of these lefties are losing it, and then Black Lives Matter.
Black crooks matter.
And on Juneteenth, they done came out here again and told all white people that they need to pay reparations.
Lordy, lordy, lordy. You know, to tell you the truth, I mean, I don't want any reparations.
Nope.
Here's the thing. My family fought and struggled to get me to where I am. I mean, can you imagine my grandfather grew up, his car was a mule. All right. I mean, I grew up around that kind of stuff. Around everybody worked on farms,
Right.
sharecropping and stuff like that. And now we're sitting around here, talking at the speed of light. You're in Georgia, I'm in Maryland, and we're able to do that. And it's a blessing that this technology has come forward. But we can't forget where we come from. And having a little honor. I don't want anything from the government outside of the check that I earned. You know,
And your
but
pension, and your pension. You got to get your pension.
give me my pension and we'll be cool. But as far as, somebody who lived, somebody who lives now whose ancestors may have mistreated my, well, what about those African tribes that gathered up our ancestors, put us in slave ships and sent us over there? Where's their culpability?
And can I say they didn't send us to America first? We had to go to Dominican Republic. We had to go to Puerto Rico and all these offshore islands to get broke into to make sure we were
Yeah.
submissive. But no one wants to ever talk about the tribes people that went and, after one war with this tribe, you took all of the losers and you sold them off for whatever the hell you sold them off for. Shouldn't they pay reparations?
People don't seem to understand that is human nature. That happens all over the world. The strong conquer the weak. I say, don't be weak. Now, I ain't saying going to get no flamethrower, but
That was me.
don't be.
I'd
That-
love to get a flamethrower.
You do not want a flamethrower.
I do.
Put your hand down, Dave.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I'd love to have one too.
You
But
ain't
here in it,
Marco.
where I live, so they probably put me in jail.
Why? Oh, because you are in Maryland.
Maryland is a hot mess. They got more rules than you can shake a stick at.
Well, y'all, that's why y'all going broke because you need to get rid of little Barack.
I'm trying. I'm doing everything I can. I called him a milk dud the other day on one of my podcasts, and I'm pretty sure there's somebody at the I'm sorry, in Maryland at the Annapolis in there monitoring my activities. That's how they roll. But I don't care. Whatever.
Well, no offense. His ambitions is to run for president.
That's right, and we have to stop him.
Oh, where he going? He's going to be worse than, somebody they didn't know if they was black or Indian. So I don't see him. Maybe in his own little state, he'll get a lot. Of course, in the blue areas, he might get some. But other than that, he's not going to go far.
Look, he's got the George Soroses and the Black Rocks and all these big funders behind him. I mean, the bottom line, this man wouldn't even pay his own water bill. I don't know if you know that story, but apparently he lived over in some place over in Montgomery County, and they found out that he hadn't paid his water bill in months. But yeah, he's worth 50-some million dollars. Now, where did he get all that money from?
The same way that Leticia James got hers, same way Alvin Braggs got his, same way that Fannie Mae Willis down here got hers. They got paid to spread hate, lies, divisions, and everything else. Us,
Speaking of
we
Fannie
don't.
Willis, what's going on with her? It looked like she's having some hard times.
Other than she gonna have to pay President Trump his legal fees. Other than she
Ooh.
got reprimanded by the state of Georgia, and now she got to go in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee. So Nathan Wade didn't do her no favors.
I was told once that you should not enjoy someone else's misery.
I'm
But I'm not
smiling.
a good person, so I'm gonna enjoy it.
Listen, because only person side that I have and that I say kudos to, say her name, Jocelyn Wade. That woman was married to that scam artist for more than 26 years. And just being a woman and being married before, being cheated on, and then you are a woman that stays home. You don't put this Negro through college. You don't have his damn back. You don't washed his ass, made sure everything was taken care of. I was his lover and his secretary, working every day of the week. I said waiting to his hell. I was waiting for her to have a $1 sale and blow up his damn car. I mean,
Lordy, 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 you going way back. You
How
going
you
way back.
come
Waiting to
on now?
exhale.
You know Fanny done has slept with Nathan. He's sneaking out the house at 1 o'clock. You know with her bougie self that probably called Jocelyn, rubbed it all in her face, and said, "I am the local DA. Nothing you can do. I can do whatever I want, and I can crush you and take everything you have." You know, Fannie Mae Willis is a bitch, and she probably tried to rub it all into Jocelyn Wade's face.
But if you take this a long way around, that's why communism doesn't work. When you get to the point where everybody's equal except for me, and I just happen to be in a high position, okay, I'm making the same money. No, you're not. You got power, inordinate amounts of power. And people like Fannie Willis, people like Alvin Bragg, people like these, Nancy Pelosi, you know, um, they have taken and abused their power. We got a whole lot of
Leticia
crooks around here.
James. You forgetting about her? Let's just take her real estate stuff. You know, you're gonna be married to your daddy. Now I done heard of incest, but come on now, you could have found a sister-in-law to do that. So now she done went and lied in the '80s, saying that she was her daddy's wife in order to get a loan, and now coming to find out, she owns another property where she's saying is her primary resident in a whole nother state. And then they have already did undercover videos, and the people that live there is now slamming the doors in people's faces. She did this, and then she comes out and say, "I didn't know what I was filling out."
Mm. You're a lawyer. What's Saul Alinsky's rules for radicals? One of those rules is blame your opponent for the things you're guilty of. This is straight out of the book.
I thought that was Nancy Pelosi, a wrap-up schmear. Cause
Well,
she say,
well, you might as well call her a communist. These people, like I said, they don't mean well for us. They've got plans, and we have to fight those plans. And back to Candace, we got to stay on the same page. You got something ugly to say about Trump? Well, keep it to your damn self. Call him up. Call his. She's got access.
wait a
But this
minute.
push,
I think it's because he didn't make her VP.
please,
Was
she's
she
not prepared.
wanted? Was she? That's what she wanted. Was
She
to
can
be
want
the
it all they
vice
want to.
presidency.
I want a big pot of gold, but I ain't gonna get it.
I'm
Let's be
sorry,
real here.
Bernie. Once you start blabbing it off, I don't care if you don't like Israel. I'm just going by what the Bible say. There's one thing I'm not gonna bend my knee for, and that's I'm not. The Bible clearly states that anybody that turns their back on Israel, he will turn his back on you. And we know what the Bible means. We know what the Jews are. We know who they are as God's chosen people. So to argue with anybody that the Bible ain't real and you believe in an imaginary person, all the rest of this, I won't compromise. But basically, I ain't really had no love lost for her ever since people called me her. And that's been over the last 7 years. It's like you need more black friends if you think that I look like that chick. I don't even sound like her. I don't even look like her. And I don't even talk like her for everybody to keep saying, you know who you remind me of? Fannie Mae Willis? No, Candace Owens. God almighty. Don't. My name is Lucretia Hughes Klukin. Figure out that name and never call me that woman again. That's why and you see, you're jealous of her. No. After 7 straight years of being compared to another black conservative, it starts getting tiresome, okay? And burdensome. I don't look
It
like
does
her.
get
I'm a
old.
grandmother. She just had 2 pups. She just got started.
She's got to learn the error of her ways. I mean, as I said before, this is not the time to stray off the plantation, as they say. We are literally at war, and things could go south real quick, no matter how much technology that we have. So, her idea of criticizing, remember, these people are, I hate to say it, and I'm disappointed. I'll have to look her up when I get done here, but, she's working for clicks. She gets
But
paid
that
for
don't make
people for
no
controversy.
sense.
Well, it does.
For clicks to get your name tarnished. That's not a good way of nobody's gonna believe you again. No one is gonna believe you if you're doing this just to get clickbait.
Criticizing the president during a time of war is dishonorable.
Very
Not cool.
dishonorable.
Not cool. We got way too many problems here, and a lot of all these people. That's my biggest deal. We got 20 million people here that ain't supposed to be here, and if we don't get our crap together, and if we don't win these, the next midterms coming up, all this, they will turn it right back, and they will, they will stall everything Trump's trying to do.
Okay,
So
she said, Candace, what? We were told that we bombed Iran into peace and that any person claiming this would drag us to a larger war was an anti-MAGA conspiracy theorist. I was right sooner than usual. She need to shut up. She need to shut up. Shut the hell up.
she's
Shut the hell
talking
up.
about things that she doesn't know about, and she's looking for clicks, and that's not cool. I'm very disappointed in her because I really thought highly of her, but I don't follow her every day. I will get that.
This
But
is
the issue that
not a war. This is an annihilation. And any politician and commentator otherwise that you follow who support this is either a coward or a monster. Bitch, please.
I don't appreciate
You
being
want me
called
to
a
keep going?
coward.
I could keep going. It's just this 7 hours ago. I'm super offended. Anyone ever thought I was wearing a mask to allow me to be more unequivocal in my approach? Gaza is a concentrating camp where an open genocide is taking place. Blah, 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 blah. I hate Trump. So there you go. And all I had to do was just say Candace Owens. Pow.
Look, it was worse before Trump got elected, as we remember. It was pretty doggone bad. Doggone, what's his name? Sleepy Joe was trying to build a bridge from from the port into Gaza to bring food in and stuff. And, these guys were getting shot up. Nobody's talking about that. Trump changed everything, and they're not fighting quite so much over there. So there has been progress. We're not going to fix this thing overnight. But another thing to look at, how many people did these bombs kill? He
All the
put,
bad guys.
well,
Oh, you
what
talking
I'm
about
getting, what,
Iran or you talking about Gaza?
well, I'm talking about Iran now. I'm
All the
switching
bad
back and
guys.
forth, but my point is that we talked about the idea that this could have been a humanitarian bloodbath if they targeted civilians. They didn't target civilians. They targeted the nuclear facilities with the intention of destroying their capability to build nuclear weapons. That's a limited objective, and I believe that the president has achieved that objective. Now the question is, we need to worry about blowback, but more importantly, we also got to keep everybody on the same page, and we don't need dissenters within the ranks as far as, Candace can have her opinion.
Massey can have his too.
Yes. But the bottom line is that, we need to stay on the same page. Stay strong right now because we got bigger fish to fry.
All
This could
right.
get real bad real quick.
Oh, it's going to get bad, especially if, quote unquote, the sleeper cells wake up. But I hope these sleeper cells know that there's a gun behind every blade of grass. Dave keeps saying we got 1 minute left before the bottom of the hour. So top of the hour, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to go ahead and let you take the last minute. Go ahead, Bernie.
Well, first of all, I enjoy talking to you all. It's like I'm sitting around talking to people that are my buddies that I've been known for 15 years. And, you give me an opportunity to take out some of these frustrations because there's just so much going on at any given time. But the bottom line is I want to give a shout out to my buddy John Meyer running for office in Maryland. We have to get him in office and
Yes.
get Wes Moore out. And Wes Moore as president, it would be worse than Kamala Harris. I'm telling you right now.
Or
Tell you.
Jasmine Crockett. All right, then, Bernie.
Oh Lord,
When
she
next
ain't
time,
that ghetto chick.
yes. Next time you got available, just tell Dave you want to come on. You got something important to say, and you're welcome here at any time. So before this
All right.
cuts you off, everybody, y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back. Go ahead, Dave.